What's up, guys? Tara, Max, and Adam here for Rev3 Games, and we just saw the GTA 5 trailer that came out. This is the second one that Rockstar has released. They don't do a lot of these things, if you haven't figured that out by now.
They're like rock stars, you know. They give interviews occasionally, you know, not to us, but
it's like Dylan. You know, I'm gonna go electric. Ooh, I'm gonna go religious.
Yeah.
Now I just sound like I'm sad.
So, yeah, this has given kind of a interesting look at the game. It's focused a little bit more on the characters rather than the city of Los Santos, though we do see a lot more of that in the trailer. What do you guys think of this? What are your initial thoughts?
It's Elmore Leonard's Heat, you know? It's, you get a bunch of kind of, you know, gritty characters, and there's humor thrown in. It's funny again. I think it looks like there's jokes.
It's like an 80s coming-of-age film about like some middle-aged dad who's just trying to like relate to his kids. It seems almost like that now.
It's like Godfather 3, because you get the sense that he's the character who I want out of this life, but then circumstances drag him back in. The first thing about that is, I think that solves what I found to be the perplexing problem of Grand Theft Auto 4, which is I like the character of Nico Bellic, and you got a sense that he was a fairly good and decent guy. But there was no reason why he was hanging around these horrible people. I mean, he could always just walk right out of that story. From what I've read and what we've seen, these are three people that somehow have been brought together by circumstance, and they're just trying to kind of get over the hump and get back to their normal lives and not kind of, you know, they don't seem to relish in the crime. Yeah, except for maybe the meth head looking guy.
It seems like they're really, presumably all the missions are going to be kind of, the different types will be tailored to the different characters, you know, because it always seems weird when, you know, you've got this, I don't know, Russian immigrant who's going on like a moped race. It's like, why would that be a thing? You know, why? And it's, you know, maybe you can find a character who that has an MO for doing that, has a reason for.
Why would a bank robber go scuba diving?
Because it's fun, probably.
That is true.
Well, once you get the money from the bank heist, it's like, I've always wanted to swim with the fishes.
I'm so mad they didn't show more of the scuba diving. But you're right, we did see more of the bank heists, which are a big theme in the game now. They show a small clip of somebody blowing up a vault door, which looks really cool. I'm really hoping that they managed to throw that into the multiplayer somehow, though they haven't talked about that yet either.
I mean, look, there's 3 characters, and they've already said that you'll be able to kind of switch between them in certain missions, and that in the out-of-mission sequences you can choose which character you want to play. That just starts to raise the question, okay, could this be a co-op game? You know, are these 3 characters, I think it's going to come down to, are these 3 characters going to be next to one another throughout the game? Because that's going to allow for the co-op. The only thing I'm thinking is, Rockstar really has now developed stories so well. When you look at L.A. Noire and Red Dead Redemption, that's something they've really fixated on, and that might strain the narrative a little bit if these 3 kind of mismatched people are somehow like, hey, joined at the hip and having an adventure in urban Los Angeles, Los Santos.
I think it's really cool is they've got enough characters in there that you actually get you get more of a spectrum. You know, it's not just like a sampler of criminals. You've got you've got people who are kind of you know, Michael's legit. He's got a family. I mean, they're kind of, you know, they're
the family man.
Yeah, he's got a wife he doesn't get along with so well. He's got a daughter who may or may not be up to bad things, and I think his son's going to be hilarious.
Did you catch
pretty much the line
tattoo that his son has? He has a tattoo in cursive on his neck that says "entitled."
Wow.
Yeah.
So I think, and I'm probably going to get some hate for this, but I really hope that the son is sort of like a parody of your average Grand Theft Auto fan.
I don't think that's a stretch to actually read that into him. So
I mean, they're making a game that's not just for teenagers here. They're making a game that looks like it's really, you know, you're going to find a character that you identify with, whether you identify with them on a personal level, like maybe you are a dad who feels out of touch because you have kids now, but you still want to play a video game. But I don't know, I think it'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe you're a meth head and you want to play video games. I don't know.
Well, you clearly have the time.
Meth heads are people too. So we did get a little glimpse of some of the vehicles that they're having in the game. Of course, there are some car chases that go down in this trailer. We see a train crash that Trevor is involved in somehow. There's dirt bikes, so it does look like there may be some kind of mini game. And there are planes, yeah, and fighter jets and stuff.
And it looks like Rockstar has acknowledged that you'll be able to fly the planes earlier on in the game than you have been able to before, given the fact that I believe it's Trevor is a former Air Force pilot, so he actually has the skills.
You're also hooked up with the FIB.
Yeah,
so that's right.
Yeah,
the Federal Investigation Bureau.
But it's FIB, which means a lie. It's a joke.
Puns.
Rockstar.
I think what we're seeing there is some learning from what we've seen from some other games, especially Saints Row. The third that kind of said, just give the player what they want earlier on. You're going to get them more engaged. You're going to get them more involved. They've also said that the driving might have a lower center of gravity. Sleeping Dogs, I think, showed what a difference it can make if the driving isn't something that is a challenge because of the controls. It's a challenge because of what they kind of lay out in front of you, but you can really handle that car.
Yeah, one thing I'm concerned about is the size of the game, because we've talked about how this is supposed to be like the size of every sandbox game ever spread out together and then multiplied by 5 or something.
Red Dead Redemption, San Andreas, and 4 combined, it's bigger than that.
What did I say? Yeah, I mean, it might as well be. It's going to be a massive, giant game, but the question is like, will they be able to fill it up with stuff to do in there? Or will there be that sense of like, commuting? Will you feel like you're kind of just moving from one point to another?
I feel like a lot of it will be a more urbanized area, but a lot of it will also just be kind of open wilderness. And I don't think people will necessarily spend a whole lot of time in the game at those areas. Like they said, you can climb Mount whatever it's called. It's like the GTA version of Mount Diablo, I forget the name. But like, who's really gonna do that? You're maybe gonna do it once when you get bored for the novelty. Like,
well, someone will do it and they'll put it on YouTube, and then we can appreciate the experience of doing that.
I'm sure there's going to be hiking missions. We saw some hiking in one of the other trailers. There's going to be hiking missions.
there were windmills also.
I just love the idea of the hiking mission, just for because you can.
Yeah. I love that
let's
you
go
can
hiking.
skydive out of a Jeep, out of a plane. That is the most amazing part to me.
That's a fun thing.
I mean, hopefully the game, because of its size, it will have more of a dynamic quality. That there are ways in 4 that almost. I got to go off the freeway into the water because I'm being chased. But they really thought about how all these kind of moving parts of vehicles, of the landscape, can play together, so that you really have that sense of invention when you are in a bind, or you really want to see like, okay, maybe this is an effective way to handle this challenge. I think the size hopefully will work to its benefit.
Yeah.
And I know we were talking earlier about LA Noire, that you are traveling a lot from point A to point B, but it did create a sense of place. They seem to be doing more and more. Red Dead Redemption was really good with that.
I mean, there's that difference between like being in a world that's alive and being in like a really big diorama. And I have this bad taste left in my mouth by San Andreas is being way out in the middle of the wilderness and being like, I need to get back to like a city to do some crimes, and then you have to wait in the middle of the road for a tractor to come by, and then you have to drive a tractor home.
I am keenly aware of that experience in that
I think the multiple characters will hopefully allow people to avoid a lot of the more tedious aspects of this game. But who knows? We still have yet to actually see the game, hopefully soon, and hopefully Rockstar will release another trailer in the next decade or so. So if you guys want more GTA 5 news and more video game news related to all of the games that we've been playing, then make sure you are subscribed here.
Let's bounce.
All right.
Are you supposed to say, are we bouncing?
Are we bouncing?
Oh, I was going to, yeah.
Did you even watch the trailer, Adam?
I did. I couldn't remember the response.
Let's bounce.
Are we bouncing?
Like in the trailer.